Perfect. 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 Perfect.
That's right, baby. It's going down in a major capacity. I see we got family already in the building, geeked up for this one, man. 985J in the building. What's happening, fam? Travis, who that, baby? He bucked up like I'm bucked up. Pat, who that? Who that to you, Pat? He in the building. We are the Who Dat Nation. Yes, we are. We are in the building all together, baby. And I'd like to thank everybody on the live stream, man, as we getting ready to get it crunk. I mean, it's you know what? Even though it's a preseason game, who that, Sean? Welcome to the live stream, baby. Man, I tell you what, man, it feel good, man. I don't know whose idea it was to come up with this one, man, to put the preseason game on a Sunday at midday. That's really something else. You heard me? That's something else. It really feel like it's regular season, man. I don't know. That was ingenious to do it on a Sunday at 3:00. Yeah, and then it's a quality opponent in the Chargers. So I like to thank everybody for being in the building. Scoob, who that, baby? Game day family. Quincy in the building. Who that, Quincy? Adrian, who that, baby? JT, are you ready for some football? Q. I'm ready for some football at JT and all the family in the building, man. Who that to the family? Thank y'all for joining me. Who that, Ronald in the building? Let me say this, family. Man, it's just terrific, man, to be able to finally have some football and some meaningful stuff. Now, in this little preview thing that we're doing today, family, we're going to basically be previewing the game. And then, of course, right after the game, I say probably maybe an hour after the game, then we'll have a post-game show. We'll open up the phone lines. We got that problem corrected. We'll love to hear you guys' response. Or if you're comfortable with just hitting us up in the chat, that's fine too. So come time, baby. come time after the game, I want to hear from the family their thoughts on this game. A lot of questions to be asked and a lot of them to be answered. Yes, baby. But anyway, getting right into it. Podcast or episode 411, live stream number 18. Family, we almost got 20 live streams of this here thing. You know, that's pretty big, man. 20 live streams. Excuse me for a second here. You can see the cup is back, baby. The game day cup. We did a live stream yesterday. And 4 hours, man. And I forgot to put my cup right next to me. I went off for 4 hours and even sipped nothing, man. That's something else. It's game day, baby. We're going to do a lot of sipping today. I know y'all doing it right now. Who that, Gary? Who that to your family? Who that, Darone's in the building? My dog Elite Goods is in the building. Revolt Control Radio's in the building. We are the Who Dat Nation, baby. We are. It's a great and beautiful family. I'm just happy to be with y'all. Y'all can see I'm just geek right now. I'm happy as hell, man. Like I just won the lottery with $1 million, man, and I'm giving it out. I'm like Oprah. You get a car. You get a car. And we gonna do it, baby. But anyway, like I said, today's show, we're gonna talk about some issues, family. I ain't really drawing out nothing. I'm doing this one to preview kind of organically, man. So family, y'all can feel free to throw out thoughts in the live chat. Like I said, we're gonna do it big. Larry, who that, baby? Who that? 985 J Sink. He got his cup today. Oh man, you talk for 4 hours, you gonna need a cup too. But we ain't gonna be doing it that long though, family. But welcome, I'd like to thank all my illustrious and great Who Dat Black and Gold family, Sports Coma family, for joining me for this one, baby. We're in the building. So feel free to ask any questions, comments, concerns coming up in this game. Got a big one coming up. Even though it's the second preseason game, family, we still got some answers. I got some questions that need answering from the Black and Gold. Let's see what the fam could do about that anyway. So without further ado, let's get into this one, family. Of course, this one's going to be on CBS, the Saints versus the Chargers. They're up in their building. And according to, Sean Payton is notorious in these preseason injury contests. He only has one guy listed on the Saints injury list, and that's Keith Kirkwood. He's questionable. Outside that, the Chargers have Keenan Allen, Virgil Hill, and Darwin James all on their injury list as well. Sean Payton saying that. Of course, we talked about it in yesterday's show about Alex Anzalone's injury and the fact that it's kind of weird because we have some media outlets reporting on it, some of them not. So some of the more credible ones that we are familiar with are not reporting on it, although we did hear something from other guys that's saying that Alex Anzalone could be out for an extended period of time. I'm thinking more like a 3 weeks to a month that he'll be out. But rest assured, don't worry, baby, don't worry. We got depth at the position. We got Demario Davis is at the position behind him. A.J. Klein, another good dude. And then Craig Robertson, who's another great dude behind him. So depth at the linebacker position, do not be concerned about that. Now, you can have some concerns if something happened to Demario Davis, God forbid. Now, 5 Saints we can't lose during the season. We ain't gonna get into it. Y'all guys can pretty much guess who those guys are. We can't lose during the season. So it's just terrific, man. Game day, baby, going down in a major capacity. But I mean, but outside of that, family, if we look at a few things that we want to recognize here in this, let's go into the game preview. Now, like I said, it'll be at 3 o'clock out there in Cali. Saints 0-1 coming into this thing, 5-7 all time against the Chargers, who are 0-1 as well in the regular season and 4-4 in preseason contests. The Saints coming in a 3-game winning streak, both regular season and preseason games against the Chargers. They haven't dropped a regular season game against them since 2004, an exhibition back in 85. And since 2017, the two clubs have conducted 2 days of joint training camp practices followed by a preseason game. August the 25th, 2018, going down, the Saints beat the Chargers 36-7 in the third preseason contest that featured extensive action by both club starters. Now, family, I'm expecting to see Drew Brees out there. Usually this is when Sean Payton likes to roll out Drew and play some minutes, and then you don't see him in the third or the fourth preseason game. But usually this is the game where we'll see Drew and all of our complete offensive starters together. So this is as close to, I guess you could say, regular season action that you're going to see with all of our starters in lining up, including Drew. So, and then extensive action by both starters, periods of practice and victory that served as a springboard toward a 3-13 season that resulted in a division championship and consecutive seasons for the first time in franchise history and advanced to the NFC Championship game. So the Saints used the preseason as a springboard going into that illustrious season. Now, the black and gold opened the 2019 preseason with that 34-25 loss to the Vikings in the Superdome as tight end Dan Arnold and rookie wide receiver LaJordan Humphrey caught touchdowns from Bridgewater and Taysom Hill. Now, in the running game, the Saints had 141 yards. Bridgewater started for the Saints and played the entire first half. He completed 14 of 19 for 134 yards and 1 touchdown with a 110.4 passer rating. Taysom Hill took over the reins in the second half, showed his versatility running and passing, completed 8 of 14 for 80 yards, also had carried the ball 6 times for a team leading 45 yards, which is about 7.5 yards per carry in that preseason game. Now, after Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray received limited snaps at running back, we've seen Devine Zigbo, Dwayne Washington get more extensive action. Washington carried the ball 8 times for 36 yards, 4.5 average on the carry. Zigbo rushed 3 times for 20 yards, almost a 7-yard average per carry. I want to see more of Devine Zigbo. Come on now. The Saints, the defense, surrendered 460 yards to the Vikings, struggled on third down as well, and surrendered several big plays, all of which have been a big point of emphasis in both corrections on film at meeting during practices at the down on Airline Drive. Now, pretty much I could tell you, after all that happened, family, the man burned the tape. I'm going to be honest with you. If I was a coach and I surrendered 460 yards and I'm Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, I'm burning that damn tape. Ain't nothing I can learn from that. I mean, you have to go back to fundamentals when you see how some of those guys were actually playing. So, you know, that was really stanky by the Saints defense. They really had a bad outing that time. Well, it could be contributed to rust, though, family. We're not going to crucify them too bad because, you know, you got to attribute a lot of that to just getting the rust. Now, they shook off the rust. They had practice. They had a chance to practice against this team twice last week. Now, what does that mean? Does it mean that, well, usually history kind of dictates that the Saints, man, coming into this one should be ready for some serious action because they've scrimmaged this team the last couple of days, and it gives them an idea of what this team can do, even though both teams are running really vanilla schemes. They didn't want to show too much and all this kind of old stuff. But my thing is, if you can't execute vanilla plays, how are you going to execute chocolate, strawberry, since we're using flavor analogies? Like they like to say, well, Sean Payton was calling a vanilla play. I was calling vanilla play. Well, I like homemade vanilla ice cream. I mean, we got Neapolitan, you know. I used to call it Napoleon when I was a child. Boy, we were so foolish. But, what flavor we going to deal with? If you can't play it right with vanilla flavoring, then you can't play it right with strawberry and all the other complex flavors. Come on. So let's see how they execute coming up now. In the second game. Now, the key point of the offense was okay. The offense, I have no qualms about the offense. The offense actually was pretty decent. We should have won that game had the defense made a play. Only problem I had, well, one of the only problems I had dealing with the offense was the fact that a certain person miscaught the ball. Well, he didn't catch the ball. The ball ended up in the hands of another player and ultimately returned for a touchdown, which helped contributed to the fact that they lost the game because the guy scored. He got a touchdown that helped them up, and that was the deciding factor. Of course, the Saints marched down there. They didn't convert when they were supposed to convert. And then, of course, Will Lutz, who I say one of the best kickers in the NFL, was able to kick the ball 4 times, 4 field goals to ultimately put the lead up there. Now, the Saints got to do better than that in the red zone. You have to do better than that in the red zone, especially when you got huge targets like LaJordan Humphreys, Emmanuel Butler, and Sammy Cobbs Jr. Those are big wide receivers. You got to utilize that size for those guys. So we'll see how that happens, offensively speaking, if they can do that. Speaking of offense as well, a lot of things I would like to see too, family. as we kind of move forward in this thing is the fact that I want to see a better outing from the second offensive line that came in, the second reserves, to see exactly what they happen. Those guys are really, those are good veterans. Those are pretty decent veterans. Those just not a bunch of undrafted guys that's filling around in there. The second line of offensive linemen for the Saints are guys like Marshall Newhouse. That guy's 8-9 year veteran. Then you're talking about guys like Ryan Groy, who's a young veteran that comes over from the Buffalo Bills. And then you have Patrick Omame, who's another veteran that had like 50-something starts in the NFL. How do y'all come out and look that pathetic? We have to have a better outing from them for the offensive line. We definitely have to. That's something else. And another thing dealing with the offense is I would like to see, I don't know if Alizé Mack is healthy in this one because Sean Payton gives such craptastic injury reports, but my idea is I don't think Alizé Mack is going to play this game. But A.J. Derby, man, I'm going to be keeping an eye out on A.J. Derby to see exactly how A.J. Derby looks, too, because he's been looking pretty good the last several practices. He got a little athleticism. He's more recognized as a pass catcher. And, he's just enough veteran to kind of stick in at the back and behind Josh Hill and Jared Cook and make something happen if Alizé Mack could, because the only reason why he's here is because Alizé Mack is having issues. So, man, it's big time stuff going on. So before I go kind of branch over to the defensive side, let me go and check out some of the what the chats, what the family saying in this who dat game day, Saints versus the Chargers, baby. Now let's see the fam saying what y'all saying over here. The family Lee Good says there's another channel there. It was about 4 or 5 people sitting there. Yeah, it's this software Elite. That they use. It's supposed to take, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to explain, but when you see one, they waiting on it in one channel, and then then it puts up that's just the advertisement to let you know, you see, and it's just the advertisement to let you know, and then when it goes live, it produces another window for you to click on to. So y'all just be mindful of that in the future. I'm gonna see if they can adjust that, cause it changed that. I don't know why it's like that, but let's see what the fam's saying. JT said if Keith Kirkwood doesn't make the preseason, I'm sorry. This is the thing, Keith Kirkwood. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Keith Kirkwood. He's still dealing with some issues there. He's not going to play. But, we know what Keith Kirkwood's going to do. I'm not like, I got to see Keith Kirkwood. I know exactly what Keith Kirkwood going to do. I want to see if LaJordan Humphrey can keep up what he's doing. I want to see if Emmanuel Butler can remain healthy, because that seems to be the problem with Emmanuel Butler. We don't need another guy that's just going to be breaming with potential, but we don't need another Cam Meredith. Is basically what we talk. I don't want another Cam Meredith, even though, that's a tough act to repeat. But I just don't want another Cam Meredith type situation. And let's see what else the fam talking about. What's up? Just joining up. Yeah. So, at the bottom line, fam, y'all can chime in too, questions, concerns, and comments. Let's move on into the defensive commentary. Then I won't talk. We got about we got a little bit more than 30 minutes before the game. This is another thing I want to talk about, dealing with the defense. Now, I just reported to you guys that the Saints did give up a craptastic amount of yards, 460 yards, I think I just reported on, that the defense gave up, which is absolutely horrible and terrible and funky and everything else you could possibly imagine. But, this time around, 460. So 460 yards, that's way too many freaking yards, man. Most of that came from the ground game, giving up the 200 yards rushing on the ground. So the thing I want to really notice about this defense is the fact that, can the Saints rush the passer? We know they can do it with Cam's on the field. I don't know if they're going to put Cam in there. My idea, if you play Drew, you got to play Cam. So hopefully we'll see Cam and Davenport in few snaps on defense to see what those guys can do. Even though it's only maybe 3/4 of the team, the defense that you want to see, well, you have Cam, you got Davenport, you got Malcolm Brown. And then, of course, when Sheldon Rankins comes back, that's a fearsome foursome if I ever seen one. But, of course, we got to wait a few months before Sheldon comes back. But we still got David Oyamada tearing stuff up in the middle. And then behind him, we'll see what Mario Edwards Jr. could do. and it's a few other things. But can the Saints rush the passer without Davenport or Cam Jordan? Can they do it? And my thing is the reserve guys. Why the reserve? Well, the starter's going to be out there. We don't have to worry about it. I still say we need guys behind him, because what if Davenport has a situation where he gets hurt? We still need a guy to get out there and rush the damn passer. I want to come at you and pass rushers and waves and waves and waves and waves and waves. That's how we going to beat you, baby. We coming at you in waves and waves and waves of pass rushers. Guys just not giving any kind of relief to the opposing quarterback. Just busting your crap up all day. Who that line? I see you, baby. Who that to your daughter? Who that to you in the building? I see you. And that's some of the things that I want to talk about dealing with New Orleans today. The run stuff and aspect of it. Can the Saints return back to their roots here? Last year, the Saints was the top 5 unit in stopping the run. Can they return back to their roots here in this game? Could we see some semblance of that run stuff and dominance that the Saints showed last year? And then, attribute that to the pass rushing aspect of it as well. Pass rushing and run stuffing, baby. That's what it's about. We know Demario Davis is going to do what he's going to do. We know A.J. Klein's going to be fine. Craig Robertson should see more stuff. Caden Ellis is a guy that we should see a lot too. In just a minute, I'll give you guys who I think's maybe 5 Saints that we maybe need to keep an eye out on coming up in just a moment. Now, outside of that, the secondary is looking good as well. It's a curious development happening between the nickel position, as you were everywhere. And we're dealing with P-Rob, his terrible outing that he had when he got toasted in the first game. We attributed it to Russ. Perhaps we could have a P-Rob comes back and be the P-Rob of the Philadelphia Eagles and not the P-Rob of the freaking first setup from the New Orleans Saints. The P-Rob we ran out of town. The garbage can P-Rob. We don't need that guy in here. But it'll be easily to recognize what's going to happen, because the Chargers have some really good They have some really good wide receivers. They throw at their big wide receivers. Mike Williams, 6'4". The other guy's big too. Big wide receivers that jump high for the ball. And Phillip Rivers is a huge quarterback as well. They're very explosive. We'll see some of that and see how our defense deals with the Chargers as well. So the secondary, the second layer of the defense, which is the linebacking core and the defensive line, is where a lot of stuff is circulating, especially with the defensive line as far as pass rushing and stopping a run up front, which ties to the line of scrimmage and dominance of the line of scrimmage. So we have to pay attention to that as well, family. Now, going to the next topic of discussion I wanted to kind of go over with you guys is the fact that, let's pay attention to a few guys that we need to pay attention to. And I put up a little list of guys, so I don't know if you guys agree with my list, but you chime in and tell me who you guys tell me. Write down, y'all guys, just give you a little pregame homework in the live chat. Let me know. Give me 3 guys that we need to keep an eye on. Saint Nation. Let's start with 3. I would say 5, but let's do 3 just in the case so I can get everybody's the thoughts in there. Who that Demi? Demi's in the building. Who that to you, baby? And that's what I'm saying, man, is that at the end of the day, we have to pay attention to some of these Saints that I think will be very special players for the Saints moving forward. And let me start by saying the first one on my list is Devine Zigbo, the running back. That's a guy that I really think he averaged on 3 carries, about 7 yards. He had one where he almost basically broke loose and ran for a touchdown. He kind of lost his balance. He knew he was gone. He was out of here. Devine Zigbo's a guy that should get more snaps and carries in this game. Very intriguing young running back. I've been watching Devine Zigbo, been knowing about him since he was in college. The Saints did a fantastic job in taking this guy and bringing him in here. And I think it's absolutely awesome with Devine Zigbo and what he can bring. He's a shifty running back. He can run north to south, catch the ball out the backfield, has a lot of speed, can lower his shoulder and become a bowling ball as well. So this guy's a very versatile guy. He's young, and he's going to take a while for him to learn the system, but keep an eye out for Devine Zigbo and that battle between him and Dwayne Washington, because rest assured, that is something that's working its way into play. Dwayne Washington and Devine Zigbo is 2 backs that the Saints are looking at very carefully. Outside of that, we talk about the triad of wide receivers. And I know I said 5, but I'm going to critique these 3 guys and kind of group them together. And the triad of wide receivers, because they're very closely grouped: Emmanuel Butler, LaJardan Humphrey, and Sammy Cobbs Jr. No special order. I didn't name them in order of popularity or whatever. I just threw them out there. But those guys are grouped together, and another special outing by LaJordan Humphrey could kind of move him ahead of that group, especially if Emmanuel Butler can't remain healthy. And Jordan and Sammy Cobb stepped up. Now, he dropped a few balls last in the practice, but, he's still a young wide receiver. He has a lot of potential. So do the rest of these guys. They're grouped together and they're kind of close. One guy can jump ahead of the next guy with a really nice outing against the Chargers. Just saying. So we keep an eye on that special group of wide receivers as well. Now, outside of that, I'm going to just shift over to the defense now and talk about the defensive line. We need to be very mindful of the defensive line because obviously Deshaun Payton doesn't see it a need to have a veteran pass rusher to come in here. He loves who we got for whatever strange reason. Both him, I can't just put Sean out there as Dennis Allen too. Dennis Allen's not telling Coach Payton, because if he told Coach Payton, man, we need a pass rusher, Payton would say, okay, well, let's go get you one. That's what he would tell him. But Dennis Allen, Sean Payton, and the rest of the staff obviously don't see a problem with the pass rush situation. So let's see who you got. Who's the guys that we need to pay attention to? Trey Hendrickson is a guy that I've been kind of roasting and making fun of and stuff like that. But Trey Hendrickson does have talent. He's just yet to exhibit the talent. It pops up here and there, but we don't need he popped up here or there talent. We need consistent playmaking behind that because that's a lot of pressure. Whether you know it or not, the third pass rusher position is almost like a starter position. Because either way, you have to pay attention. Who's the third pass rusher? I keep asking the question. The family keeps asking the question. And obviously the Saints feel like they have that guy on the team. Well, Trey Hendrickson is the next man up behind Junior Gillette. Kiss the Girls and Make Them Cry. Carl Granderson, who's currently behind bars in jail. So he can't help you. But Trey Hendrickson need to break out of his personal jail and his mind jail to be able to make some things happen for the black and gold in California to solidify that position. Now, it's Trey Hendrickson. Also behind Trey Hendrickson, there's another guy I want to make note of, and I said it the first time around, is Geno Grissom. The Saints are high on Geno Grissom. This guy was drafted by the Patriots, I think, in the third round. He didn't have much of a sack advantage, not much of a run stuffer, but he does have the potential. The Patriots held this man for 4 years down there, and then ultimately the Saints said they like what he can do. And he does exhibit qualities. He has a quick first step, but it's not translating to anything as far as sacking the quarterback. So maybe we need to pay attention to Geno Grissom, and I'm going to group these guys together too. Trey Hendrickson, Geno Grissom, and then a third guy I throw in that mix is Wes Horton. Wes Horton's a guy that came over from the Carolina Panthers. He was a guy that had 5.5 sacks a couple seasons ago, but he had not been able to duplicate that success. Might have been an aberration, and he did 5.5 sacks as basically a backup in. But he is a big guy. He's healthy. He didn't play in the first contest. He'll be playing in this game. So I want to see what Wes Horton, Geno Grissom, and Trey Hendrickson does today for the pass rush, because they probably will be the main ones pass rushing on the defensive line. And next, guys, Caden Ellis. We're going to throw it around. Caden Ellis is another dude that should start in this game. And Rumbling said Caden Ellis will get an opportunity. He's been starting during the practices for the Saints and in position for injured linebacker for when Anzalone's been out. Caden Ellis has been responding. He's fast. He's smart. He has the NFL pedigree from his father, Big Luther. And I'm just saying at the end of the day that Caden is a very special player. The Saints got him in the 7th round along with Alizé Mack. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how this guy contributes in a starter capacity. He played a lot of snaps in the Minnesota game, and he did some things. I want to see if he can repeat that success and not only compete, replicate it, but see if he can improve upon it. That's another thing I want to see from Caden Ellis. And given the reputations, let's see if he can be able to do that. So keep an eye out on Caden Ellis as well. And then toward the back end of the defense, another guy I want to keep an eye out is both of those safeties. I said it last time, Saquon Hampton and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson came in the door, tearing it up. Saquon was a late bloomer, but he's coming in. We knew he was a thumper, but now he's showing that he can play the ball as well. So the Saints have some very interesting young pieces that we need to keep an eye out on. So let me recap and say what I said. guys we need to pay attention to, and I kind of groups a couple of those guys: Saquon Hampton and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the secondary. And I guess I can throw a few more. The battle between P-Rob and PJ Williams and Kevon Webster is another one that's interesting. Even though that's I'll put that as a fringe bonus toward the back end. But Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Saquon Hampton, the three defensive linemen we need to pay attention to with the pass rushers: Trey Hendrickson, Geno Grissom, and Wes Horton, who will get an opportunity to see what he can do. And then we go to the running backs, the Devine Zigbo and Dwayne Washington, their little battle. And then the three grouping of wide receivers, which are Sammy Cobbs Jr., LaJardan Humphreys, and Emmanuel Butler. So those are some of the guys I want to pay attention to. And I might as well I'm full of them. I'm going to throw some more at you, family. I'm going to throw up in there. I'm going to throw Taysom Hill up in there and Teddy Bridgewater. I'm going to throw both of them guys up in there. And I'm going to throw them up in there because I still want to see if Teddy Bridgewater could do what he did against the Minnesota Vikings, against the Chargers' stiff defense. And I also want to see if Taysom Hill can improve upon his accuracy issues that he had in the game against the Vikings as well. So I guess we got a lot of people that we could pay attention to when the starters or the big guys come off the field. We got a lot of starters we could pay attention to. So very interesting regardless of how you look at it. The Saints we're going to see how things happen between them. Let's just say that much, family. Anyway, the family's chiming in here. And Jerome says, Q, who's the top 5 free agent still out there in every position? Top 5 in every position, Jerome? I'm going to have to do a little research on that one, my friend. He said it can be top 3 in every position. Who top 5 free agents still out there? I don't know. I have to do a little research on that. I know a few of the cornerbacks that were out there. Some of those guys have been picked up in the camp. But I've not been paying attention too much to all of the rest of them except for the defensive line, the needs that's needed for the Saints. So I mean, there's people like Muhammad Wilkerson that's still available out there. There's the linebacker, defensive end guy from Nick Perry from the Green Bay Packers. I think Deion Jordan is still out there as well. So it's a few guys out there, man, that can kind of help us on the defensive end, on the defensive line. And even though we might have a few safeties that's out there, maybe a couple of corners, maybe a couple of other players, I don't think the Saints are going to spend any money on any of the top people that's on the top roster out there. I mean, they can actually really go after a pretty good end situation right now, bring some of those guys in here and really, really take the defense to the next level and add some talent to it. But I don't know. I wouldn't rely too much on young talent. Look what happened the last couple of years. I covered this toward the end of the last live stream. The last 2 years of debacling was because of 2 young players in particular who just melted in the moment of action. Had we had replaced those guys with veterans, those play, we would have told, do you not understand where we would be in terms of Super Bowls? We have a couple of Super Bowls, at least another Super Bowl played in what could possibly be, if we get that this year, when we get that this year, a 3rd straight Super Bowl. So it could be New Orleans. It could be a minor, like a dynasty battle between the Saints and the Patriots over the last several seasons. It just didn't formulate that because right at the wrong time, our young players are counted on and they failed to step up to the big moment. And I'm speaking, of course, what happened with Marcus Williams fumbling, ducking his head down and missing the guy, Stephon Diggs in Minnesota. And then the other play with Dan Arnold literally dropping a touchdown pass. So 2 fumbling, bumbling plays by young players at the time was the result. We didn't excel to the big dance in many aspects because the Minnesota win would have got us to Philadelphia and we would have stuck the rat butt hole in them and to move on to the Patriots. And then, of course, beating the Rams would have took us into the Super Bowl against the Patriots last year, who Bill Belichick said that he was kind of worried about the Saints. He wasn't worried about the damn Rams. That's for certain. They walk right through them. But anyway, that's some of the stuff to talk about, family, dealing with that. Let's see what the rest of the fam is talking about. Demi says, good day, who that's. Let's pray for no injuries. That's right. And what she said, better improve last week on both sides of the ball. Forget the vanilla. Let's go whipped cream style of play. That's right, Demi. That's right. Mix it up. Let's mix it up. Let's get it popping. Let's see. Lionel, who that? Lionel says, watch out for Caden Ellis. Jerome says Butler, Ellis, and Robinson. Scoob says keep an eye on Sammy Cobbs Jr., Devani Zigbo, and of course Caden Ellis. And he says Ellis, Butler, and P. Rob. Dada says chilling. Okay, Dada's in there. Dude, Dada says who that? Let's see. Ant MIB. Who that to you? Yeah, we got a new person in the building, fam. I can't see that. I think Ant IMB. Who says McCoy. That's a good one. McCoy. Even though McCoy has been dominating, I mean, since he stepped in the starting role with the ones, he's been unrelenting. That guy, I told people, I said that McCoy is the real McCoy, and he will be the guy that will be your center for the next 10 seasons. I've been on record for that. He will make you forget about a man named Max Unger. That says a lot about a young center prospect, but this guy is the real deal. He's the real deal. He has a nasty streak too. You're going to see that too when you got a few guys to try to piss him off. Watch him. He comes off as a calm dude, but I'm telling you, this guy has a mean streak in him, and you're going to love Eric McCoy. I'm telling you, family. We're going to love him. Quincy says Trey Hendrickson better keep that same energy he had in practice when the lights shine. Yeah, he better keep it, Quincy. I agree with you, man. And that guy likes to get into it with his teammates. He got into it with Alizé Mack. He got into it with another guy. And I'm sitting up here saying, damn, he got a lot of fight in him. Let's see if he can focus and turn it on the opposition and not his teammates. Use some of that feistiness, man, to go and turn on your teammates and against the opponents and not on your teammates, Trey Hendrickson. He probably getting in fights with him because they telling Trey Hendrickson, you garbage. You garbage can, Trey Hendrickson. You garbage can. He don't like that. They talking to him, telling him, you can't get around here. You can't do this. You can't do that. That's what's going on. That's why they probably Alizé Mack blocked him out of a play and told him he was garbage, and he got swallowed up by a tight end, and that's what made him probably true. God, it's just one of them things, baby. You can't, you got to fight back some way. Instead of fighting back using this game and getting a sack or busting the play up, he started pushing. Got to do better than that, Trey. JT saying today is where Deontay Harris takes special teams. Dude, is good one. Good one, JT. I did not mention Deontay Harris, but I should have mentioned Deontay Harris because the special teams is something I focused on in the first matchup. We need to pay attention to it this round of battles too, family. We have to remember that the special teams are uber important here. They're mega important here, and Deontay Harris has to stay healthy, and let's see what he can do in the kick return game. I don't know if Marcus Shrells is going to play in this one. The odds are that he's not. But Deontay Harris and Cyril Grayson, both of those guys, just throw them in that mixture too, JT. Deontay and Cyril Grayson, both of those guys, man, could really help the team in a major capacity from the special teams wing. And don't be surprised if you see Deontay Harris running around there catching passes when he's not playing in the special team, or Cyril Grayson for that matter. So who that, Marty? Marty said 6. Tony, who that, Tony? Said, do you think Rankins will return to the dominant player he was before the injury? Now, of course, with Achilles injuries, you kind of reduce and lose a little speed there. But he wasn't super fast. He wasn't no Aaron Donald type fast defensive tackle. I still say he will be a dominant force in that end. He might lose a little speed in that, but but I'm gonna be honest with you, Sheldon Rankins, his technique is starting to look really good. His technique, when that last season, you seen him put it all together. You seen him put it, the pass rushing, all that, it all came together for Sheldon Rankins. And it was like, yeah, this is the guy I remember we took from Louisville. This is the guy that was worth that high pick. So Sheldon Rankins, I expect him to come back. He might lose a little speed, but I don't think it'll terribly disrupt his game. Especially when you pair him with Malcolm Brown, and then you have a Cam Jordan who just extended out. You got Davenport who was just drafted, so he got many years. You got Malcolm Brown who signed his contract, so he's going to be here. So this team is going to be, that defensive line, when they re-sign Sheldon Rankins, will be a pretty decent line. So I think he'll be more than fine when he comes back. And I think with the rest of those guys, I think he'll be fine, Tony. So, lose a little speed, but that's kind of traditional when you have an Achilles injury. But he's not a pass rusher, so I'm not concerned. He's a defensive tackle who has some of that in him. So I don't think it'll affect his game that much. Sean, who that baby? Sean says Rankins will be fine. He got stuff to prove. I agree with that statement. Big time. Scoop said Brian Baldinger. That's the funniest name in the world except for Bucky Brooks. Bucky or whatever his face is. Brian Baldinger did a nice piece on McCoy this week talking about him putting nose tackles on skates, just simply dropping low and overpowering them. That's my favorite term, putting them on skates, the vending machines. When you take some skates and put it underneath the vending machine, what you going to do with that vending machine? You're going to push it. That's why I used to call Zach Streif the vending machine. Toward the end of last inning, he was just no good. Good thing he on the radio now because, boy, they used to push Zach Streif around like he was a vending machine. Just move him, put him whatever, just push him over there in the corner. Put him in the corner. He ain't no good. Unplug him. Put him in the corner, the vending machine. But that's the thing about him. He's a guy, like I told you, fundamental technique about McCoy. Excellent guy. That guy should have been the first offensive center taken. He should have been the first center taken in the draft. Many considered him the best center. For him to fall in the second round was absolutely crazy. But if you notice anything about the Saints is that they've been able to find these guys and make things happen with these guys. They find them and they make things happen with these guys. Eric McCoy, they moved up in the second round. Say, oh my goodness, McCoy is available. Let's move up there and get him. They moved up there and got him. And that's terrific. And also it's like, if you redraft the draft when a few years ago when they drafted Elvin Kamara, this guy came out in the third round. Mike Thomas was a second round pick. Did you hear what I just said? Did you just hear what I just said? Mike Thomas, we forget that. But Mike Thomas wasn't a first-round draft pick. Mike Thomas was a second-round draft pick. Elvin Kamara was a third-round draft pick. You know, it's amazing how these buffoonish teams, and they talking about complaining about winning and all this kind of stuff, letting these talented players seep right by them. If, I would have fired half my scouting team. Like, why the hell y'all guys didn't tell me about Elvin Kamara? Well, we knew about him. We just had a 4th-round grade on him. For real, dude, what are you watching? And what are you smoking when you watching? You smoking something while you watching the scouts? But that's the thing what I'm talking about when you look at it toward the end, that we taking these guys who they're not seeing the potential in these guys and we turn them into something. Now, of course, that worked bad on the other end because we did get Trey Hendrickson in the third round too. And he hadn't turned out to be much. And then there was people like Kakaha and the rest of them. So it's interesting, man, to say the least, but very, 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 very good about McCoy. Love McCoy. Scoop says, Sean, okay, they talking to each other. Cheryl, hey, Cheryl, who that to you, baby? And that's what we talking about here, covering the Saints. But this is the absolute beautiful thing about it all, man, is the fact that the Saints have a lot to prove in this contest coming up. And we're going to be here to make sure to see what they do. So, family, what are your concerns going into this one? Let me hear from you guys. You guys tell me what the hell going on. What are you looking for? What are you most concerned about of dealing with your black and gold squad? What do you see that you want to see improve? Now, I've already told you my spiel about the Saints need to get better in terms of doing a better job on the defense, as far as stopping the run, as opposed to doing all this other kind of stuff against the pass. I want to see them pass rush a little bit better. I want to see them young wide receivers make plays. Now, I did talk about all those receivers, and then we still have not mentioned and talked about the guy named Trayvon Durrell either. Now, he's a wide receiver in the building. The Saints brought him back. He had a big drop in the game when Taysom Hill hit him. Hopefully, he can catch some stuff to keep him on the team, or he's going to be the first wide receiver out the door. He got to do a better job there. Quack in the building. What up, Quack? It's been a while since Quack been in the building, man. Who that to you, Quack? But that's the whole thing, man. Y'all fellas tell me, guys, y'all the Who Dat Sports Coma family, y'all yell it out to me. Let me know what y'all concerns are in this game, man, because I know y'all have some. Of course, we don't want no injuries. And I think we'll be fine getting out of there with no injuries. But we have a lot of depth everywhere, and there's a lot of players that I would love to see. So let me see. Quack said, I just hope the refs call them dirty hits on Kamara. Yeah. Well, we ain't playing in Dallas, so they should be fine. We're not playing in Dallas, so they should make those calls there, Quack. Even a rookie referee staff should see most of that stuff going on. Sean said, I want to see this defense step up and wide receivers. Yes, sir. Defense got to step up. Wide receivers, Trayvon Durrell catch the damn ball. Dan Arnold catch the damn ball, secured the ball. and hold on to the ball. Even though I think AJ Derby is another guy that might supplant that guy. Too bad, but I like Garrett Griffin. You know why I like Garrett Griffin's a good dude. Tony says the D ends need to improve, and we need a strong third running back. I agree with you. The D ends definitely need to improve. The D ends not named Cam Jordan or Davenport need to step the hell up. It's a severe drop-off behind Davenport on the defensive line. Nobody's talking about it. The intelligent media and all these clowns, nobody's talking about the third third defensive end. But I promise you, in this game, if it don't happen, it'll be the first article they write about the fact that the Saints don't have any pass rush behind the main two guys. And they'll be like, what? We just seen that. Well, welcome to the show. I mean, we've been talking about that for at least a month now. The fact that the Saints don't have anybody behind Cam and Davenport. If something was to happen to Davenport, God forbid, or Cam, you have to have somebody. And of course, the Saints will run out into the free agency market and see if they can go pick somebody up. But that's not how you're supposed to do it. If you have somebody in place right now, they learn the system right now. They can be effective right now and when you need them to. So that's some of the things that we should look out. Any other concerns to the family? I like Tony's comment about the D ends in the third running back position. Dwayne Washington, as I said, Dwayne Washington and Devine Zigbo's in a battle right there. And they gave Dwayne Washington a lot of snaps in that last game against the Vikings. And Devine Zigbo's a guy that I want to see more of. I've seen Dwayne Washington and what he can do. North-South guy, doesn't do much. He's a pretty decent blocker too back there. But Devine Zigbo has another level to him. He's a guy, he's a compact guy. I just want to see what he can do outside of those, outside of the Dwayne Washington. So we'll see. And Quack said, love to see Armstead finish the season. Yeah, man. Yeah, Quack, you good, dude. Good comment. Quack said he would love to see Armstead finish the whole season. Man, that dude there, man. We just got to wrap him in those little plastic shipping bubbles. The pack wrap. You wrap them around and send them out there. That should protect them for a whole season, man. Good grief. I tell you, man. Glenn says, let's go Saints. We are the Who Dat Nation. Love that moniker. Said kickoff coming up in a few. Soldier for Christ said, what up? And that's the thing, family. So we got about 3 minutes to kick off, family. Sean says, I believe we're set at running back. I'm not worried. However, it'd be great to watch them. Yeah, I think even if Sean Payton might keep 4 running backs, that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility. So he might keep 5 altogether, including a fullback. You know what I mean? So you're looking at Elvin Kamara, Latavius Murray, then Dwayne Washington, Devine Zigbo, and then Zach Lyon. So that could be the guys right there that you kind of looking at. But it'd be good to have a guy in, like a Devine Zigbo behind that would actually be pretty good. So that's pretty good. Okay, Jay say 2 minutes till kickoff. All right, family, we're going to turn you loose. But we'll be back after the game, family, so we'll pay attention to those things. We'll be back after the game so we can all talk about it. We'll open up the phone line so the family can call in. If you feel comfortable, you can hit the chat. But we'll open up the lines, and we'll love to hear from you. And that'll probably be, if the Saints do what they're supposed to do, we'll be happy. A lot of congratulatory things. If not, there'll be a lot of upset Saints fans on the line. So we'll see how that goes. JT says, we're having about the Saints so healthy. We never had this before. Yep. Demi says, thank you. I'll get back with you after the game. Who that, everyone? And who that to everybody? And family, we will meet again after the game. Y'all enjoy the game, family. And we'll be back after the game. Who that to you?